Well, welcome to the Volunteer Appreciation Lunch. Thank you for coming. This is a day of celebration. I love it. So I'm Heather Allen. If I have not met you yet, please grab me at some time today because many of you I know. I'm looking out, I think most I do. A few of you maybe I haven't met. I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary at Verona Senior Center. Fun milestone, and the reason why I bring that up is because shortly after I started, it was just a couple weeks I had been here, and we had the Volunteer Appreciation Lunch. And it was just so inspiring. It was really the first kind of event when I started, so it was very inspiring and just a joy to see everybody and kind of see how the year has evolved. So exciting for me. So this, again, is a day of a celebration because we could not move forward the mission of the Verona Senior Center without all of you. We could not cast our net as wide as we do without all of you. So I just, again, want to thank you for coming here and for those who could not make it today, of course. You all make the Verona Senior Center stronger. If you have heard of the Harvard Study of Adult Development, which is the longest running study, about 80 plus years, it has come to the surface that most consistent predictor of longer, healthier, and more meaningful life is the quality of our relationships. Social connection is the strongest predictor for longevity, more than the understanding of cholesterol levels, wealth, or fame. And loneliness is as harmful as smoking to our health. This is just to show not only are you positively impacting those that you serve, but also it brings meaning to you, and for you being here, it's important for your health too. So thank you for being a part of the Verona Senior Center. I do want to take a moment to invite the staff to come up. I want to introduce the staff. So Stephanie L, come on up, our director. Yay. She drives the ship, keeps us running. Woohoo! Pays the bills. You know, that's important. Our lead social worker, Lisa Riley, come on up. Right? And Allison Sheff, our newest social worker. Thank you for being here, Allison. We're welcoming her. She's a few months in. Elisa Weiss, our program manager. Here she comes. Jan Paul, our program assistant. Come on up, Jan. Human Services intern, Louisa Pastor. Woo! Thank you. And Laura Mead, who is not here today, but we all know Laura and love her, and we appreciate her work as well. So again, just if you haven't met any of the team members up here, please introduce yourself. But we couldn't do it with all of you, so thanks so much. Yeah. Way to go, team! Go team! What's fun is we get to be up here and let you relax today. You're not working today. We are working for you today. I also want to thank Jamie Olive for being here today. The Verona City Administrator, he'll be offering a few remarks here. So thank you, Jamie. And Mara in the back, Mara Trusty, our Verona Communications Manager. Thank you, Mara, for capturing this special day today. We appreciate that for sure. So when planning this event, I did go back to our scheduling system, and I wanted to pull some summary data and share that with you. And the reason why is I think it does help tell the story in a little bit more detail of what we look like over the course of a year. So while the numbers are not all inclusive, it does give us a good summary. So in 2025, so all of last year, there were a total of 5,050 hours that were served at the Verona Senior Center amongst all of you and those who could not be here. So we have about half of our volunteers that were able to make it today. So we are growing, and we need another Verona Senior Center to just hold our event, Jamie. Just saying. But those 5,050 hours That's equivalent to more than 2 full-time employees. So we really could not move our mission forward if you weren't here helping us every day of the week. I do want to give a special recognition to Elizabeth Hall. Elizabeth, can you please stand up, Elizabeth? Yay! We're so excited to start off our recognition with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, if you've not met her yet, you know her positive energy, and she's here Monday through Fridays, 9 to 4. In the summer, she does step a little bit away for her work at the greenhouse, but we appreciate. Elizabeth, you were here at 1,005 hours last year, so we appreciate you. We could not do it without you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And then Miss Karen Foss, where are you? Right here, Karen. So she served 256 hours last year. So I think the top 3 volunteers by service hours. And then Mr. Ken Gronowski, where are you, Ken? I saw you come in. You can stand up too, mister. And his sidekick, Karen. But Ken, you served 199 hours. I can't believe it wasn't 200. But our data said 199. Next year, I'm going to look at that number and we'll see. We'll compare it. But our top 3 volunteers by service hours. So thank you so much for the work that you have done. 1,048 of those hours were served in our kitchen. It's a busy place back there. For our driver escorts serve. So those drivers are those who drive our members to their medical appointments. They served 852 hours last year, driving 5,329 miles to medical appointments. So I did have to look that up. I said, where could that get me in 5,329 miles? And that would take me round trip, New York to LA. I thought that was impressive. They are driving around Dane County, so Madison primarily, Verona. We just appreciate all that time and mileage you put in. A total of 8,820 home delivered meals were ordered last year. And that's an average of 735 meals that get out to homes each month, which is serving on average about 43 to 45 home delivered meal recipients a month. And those are what folks that might not otherwise see people or even have that meal at home. So we do appreciate that. The home delivered meal drivers, in total, home delivered meal drivers drove 12,348 miles last year. How far would that get you? Anyone want to guess? Halfway around the world. The circumference of the earth is about almost 25,000 miles. That's halfway around the earth. Amazing. 702 volunteer hours last year. Let's give a round of applause for all those. Mr. John Perkins, where are you? Can we have you stand up, Mr. John? Hi. John Perkins drove 2,690 miles for our home delivery program. So thank you, John. Such a joy to see each time. We also had Warren Sarbacher, who drove 1,083 miles. He was not able to be here. He, in the summer or the spring, he takes another side job. So he stays pretty busy. I guess we don't keep him busy enough. And then Mr. Dwight Gribble drove 898 miles last year for home delivered meals. So our top 3 drivers, as far as mileage, we wanted to recognize you and appreciate you. So thank you for all of your hard work and for the time and the miles on the road. I'm glad you're driving in Verona and not New York to LA. So with our driving program, we do have 2 representatives from our RSVP program. So that's the Retired Senior Volunteer Program, which we have Debbie and Lori. Thank you, Debbie and Lori. They are representing RSVP. If you want to raise your hand or kind of stand up, thank you for being here. They set up a table on the side to help answer questions if you are wanting to learn more about RSVP, or even just check in and say hi. You may be a current RSVP volunteer. So we do appreciate them being here and want to thank them for taking the time. They work with our driving program, and they also train for our driver escort program. So with that, for our driver escort program, I do want to just take a moment of silence because we lost our driver escort coordinator and manager and trainer, Steve Jusky, recently and unexpectedly last week. And so if we could just take a moment and honor him and just think of him and thank him for his work. Thank you for honoring him. Our staff and many of our drivers in this room were trained by Steve, and so we just wanted to take a moment to recognize him. And that moment of remembrance is really for gratitude of his hard work and dedication, and kind of also reminds us of the gratitude that we want to think about today. We're thankful and grateful for all of you here as our volunteers, and that will really carry us over into our presentation, which is later today, focused on gratitude, the happiness superpower. I'll be introducing our speaker after lunch. So Jamie and I are between lunch. So I am going to turn this over to Jamie to offer a few remarks. And then I'll come back and just kind of talk through our operations for lunch, and then we will eat and celebrate. So Jamie.
Very good, thank you, Heather. And can I just get a quick round of applause real quick again for the Senior Center staff? Don't they do an amazing job here? We not only have so many residents that come here, we have a lot of non-residents because it's such a popular place. So, and great programming all the way along. They do an excellent, excellent job. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jamie Aulick. I'm the City Administrator for the City of Verona. And how I describe my job is I'm a chaos controller of sorts. So if you haven't noticed, Dane County, and this area in particular, is growing really fast. And I'm trying to keep all the pieces, all the plates spinning in the air, and that's kind of what I do. So anyway, I work over at City Hall, and I am a fairly good complaint department. So if you have any complaints, like we hacked the red bud over by the window over there, took that one just before we started, all good. That's what I'm here for. So anyway, I just wanted to say it's an honor to be here with all of you today. I'm going to say what I hope you already know, and the work you do here matters enormously. I'll talk a little more about that. But not just to the Senior Center, or to the people that you serve, but to the entire city of Verona. Really, we're almost 17,000 people now, and the work you do here on a daily basis is just amazing. And I don't say that just as a formality, I really do mean it. I have the great privilege to work with police, firefighters, public works staff, planners. All of them will tell you the city is only as strong as the people that participate within the community, right? And the community is only as strong as the people who show up. You guys are showing up, which is amazing. You are those people. When I look at what the list of the different types of activities that the volunteers do at the Senior Center, it's truly remarkable. You drive to your neighbor's medical appointments so they don't have to choose between their health and getting a ride. You deliver meals to people who might not otherwise have a hot lunch, right? Or a friendly face at the front door. You pilot the Trishaw bike, right? So that someone who hasn't felt the wind in their face in years gets to feel it one more time. How cool is that? You greet people when they walk in, which sounds so simple on its face, right? But for someone who lives alone, that's everything, right? Seeing someone else during the day, and that can just be the highlight of their day. How awesome is that, right? You lead exercise classes, hiking groups, craft sessions. You help decorate and run events, which are insanely well attended. You know that better than I do. Sometimes I can't get tickets and sold out, all that kind of good stuff. You do an amazing job here with events. You show up consistently, reliably, cheerfully, and just that consistency itself, right? I really believe that's a form of love for yourselves, for each other. It's amazing, isn't it? I want to say something to you that I think sometimes does get lost, and that's volunteering, as Heather was mentioning, is good for you. Good for you. It's research tells us that just by virtue of connecting with other people, you're connecting with them, they're connecting with you, you're helping each other out. How cool is that, right? So you're mutually beneficial in a health perspective, and you live longer when you're interacting with other people. And obviously, all of you in here are doing an awesome job connecting with the community. That's beautiful, truly. From a city perspective, what you contribute, we can't replace. What you do is extraordinary. The Senior Center serves hundreds of residents and non-residents. All of that you make possible, the rides, meals, programs, social connection. All of that would cost us, I don't even know how much. We don't have that much in the budget at all, certainly. But you represent something the city budget simply cannot buy, which is genuine human care, truly. The fact that a neighbor is driving to another neighbor to a doctor's appointment, that's not a service delivery model, that is community. That's what we want as a community. So on behalf of Mayor Diaz, the City Council, and everyone at City Hall, and all my coworkers at the city, thank you. Thank you for your time, consistency, warmth, and your commitment to making Verona a place where people look out for each other. A lot of communities don't do that. We do that here, right? If any of you know someone, here's my pitch, who might want to get involved, a friend, family member, neighbor, looking for a way to connect, please do send them our way. We'll take them. We always have opportunities here for everyone, whether you can commit to a regular schedule or just want to help out whenever that time is right. Every bit of help helps us out. It's welcome and it's valued. Thank you all, truly. It's an honor to be here with all of you today, and have a great Hometown USA Day. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate that. So now it's time to eat, right? We will excuse the right tables, and we have our serving window at the back. You have your ticket with your meal choice on there. So bring that up with you. You registered for that sandwich and soup. And I do want to say a special thank you to Lake Ridge Bank, who sponsored our yummy dessert today, our cupcakes. And if you do or could use assistance with drinks or bringing anything back to your table, just kind of flag us down. We're here to help. So, Allison, take it away with leading our first table. Thank you. We'll reconvene after lunch for our speaker. Lowanna Mobley. So Lowanna is a mindfulness teacher and education program coordinator at the Verona Meditation Center in Madison. With years of personal study and practice, she shares practical wisdom for cultivating happiness and inner calm every day in her everyday life. Her approachable style helps students easily apply mindfulness techniques in the demands of modern living. Our topic today is gratitude, the happiness superpower. Gratitude is a kind of happiness superpower. It uplifts our minds, enables us to enjoy our lives, and allows us to feel enriched, confident, and optimistic. Lowanna will offer ways to harness that superpower of gratitude and see kindness everywhere. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce and give a warm welcome to Lowanna.
Thank you, Heather. I just want to say that Heather and her entire team has been a delight to work with. That's probably not a surprise to any of you. Very professional, so thank you very much, Heather. So, in 2013, I was diagnosed with a rare and potentially fatal head and neck cancer. And I would like this to be a story where I tell you that I took that diagnosis with grace. That is so not the case. That is so not the case. I was a mess. So even after you had the first surgery, the hopeful one, where the doctor comes in the room and says, I think we got it, right? And your friends and your families are giving you high fives and saying, you've got this girl. In my mind, I was saying, I so don't have this. I do not have this. I made the mistake of hearing a doctor communicate that my 5-year survival rate was 50-50. So I was 43 at the time. And everything I did, in the background, I was thinking, I'm not even going to see my kids graduate high school, much less college. Everybody was going about their day-to-day. And in my mind, I was thinking, don't they know I could die in a few years? So some of you may have similar stories. So I did not handle things well. Ultimately, it became a blessing, though. I had a friend of mine suggest I learn how to meditate, which, to be honest, sounded like torture, right? Like the last place I wanted to be was within my own life. No, I need something to get away from my mind. But nonetheless, I said I'd give it a go. So I got on the internet, I googled meditation in medicine, and I found a center. It happens to be the center that I currently teach at and volunteer at. So I went there, I met a fabulous teacher, I learned a few tools that definitely did help reduce my anxiety. Unfortunately, I was only there a few months when I got my first reflux. So I have an amazing healthcare team up in Mayo Clinic, Rochester, and they suggested that I move up there for a few months while I'm undergoing treatment. And they said, after treatment, we'd like you to participate in a clinical trial that we think you'd be interested in. And so I said, great, if it helps somebody else, wonderful. So after my last dose of radiation and other treatments, I showed up and I met with the head of the clinical trial. And that day changed my life, and in fact changed my human direction. She said something that was really fundamental to the direction that I took my life. She sat down and she explained the reason for the study. And it's interesting that Heather mentioned the Harvard study and the cautionary tale about how it's really, really important to stay social and stay connected. So what they were finding is that with this particular head and neck treatment after it, it made a lot of changes, right? Your life is different. A lot of people had facial deformity, they couldn't eat well and speak well, and they tended to move away from their social connections. They tended to isolate more. And because of that, it actually caused outcomes to be more poor. So I promise we didn't collaborate on this. But there definitely is a tie. And what she ended up saying was, everyone in this study has received the same treatment, the same excellent medical care. But I could probably tell you which ones are going to live and which ones are going to die in the next 5 years. Because it's the one factor we can't control, their own attitude, their own disposition. And that was shocking to me. I thought the thing about whether or not I'm going to survive or not has more to do with my own mind. On one level, it was encouraging because I thought maybe I have some control over that. So I definitely wanted to be in the group that survived. So I said, give me all you got. And they paid for me to go through this course. And what they ultimately wanted to find out is can we actually transform people's minds? People that might be ordinarily a little negatively or a little bit more critical. Can we actually give them some tools and give them some training so that they can actually improve their attitude, improve their medical outcomes? So that was their goal. So they gave us some information about what the brain does and the chemical responses and all that fun stuff. At the end of the day, we all left with a handbook of a few mindfulness practices. And I thought, this is kind of sounding a little familiar to me. And the very first one, they said the one that is most effective to kickstart our happiness is a morning gratitude practice. And I was humbled with this information, humbled. And the reason why I was humbled was for many months, I had been coming to a meditation center. And they definitely have had a lot of meditations on gratitude and compassion that I had dismissed as being too simple. And I thought, no. I've got real problems. I need the big medicine, the stuff we have to go to a cave and meditate on people from thousands of years ago. I want that kind of juju. Come on, give it to me. But it turns out it was way simpler than that. And you know what? We all have authentic moments of gratitude, don't we? I mean, you can be a very small child, and we know that feeling. When we have authentic mind of gratitude, we just feel good. We don't have to think about, I need to have gratitude so I can feel good. It happens effortlessly. So the idea is can we cultivate this? Can we do it in times where maybe we wouldn't necessarily think of being grateful? And the answer is a resounding yes. Science agrees, ancient wisdom agrees, yes, we can train for it. So in the time that I have, I thought I would share a few things about a gratitude practice. So we first start with what is gratitude. Gratitude is a positive state of mind that arises effortlessly and spontaneously when we receive something of value, something that we benefit from, something that we find precious. So who's determining whether or not we're receiving something of value? Right. We are. We're deciding that. So that's great news. But I have to say, if I'm honest, how many times was I invited to Thanksgiving dinner? And that's kind of where you sit around and go, tell me what you're grateful for. And I'm like, oh no, 1 minute, I'm about to say what I'm grateful for. I kind of do I'm grateful for my family and whatever. And then it's like, don't have to think about that again. It really didn't go deep. So the idea is to cultivate this mind, this warm, loving heart by the things that we see every day. So I want to give you kind of an example. Do some of you have grandkids? Yeah. And they're not just so precious. It's just so precious, right? So imagine a scenario where your grandkid comes to visit you, and they come in beaming, and they say, look, I've got a present for you. And they have a big piece of paper, and on it are 2 colorful blobs, round blobs. And they go, look, this is you, and this is me, and this is when we were at the zoo. And they're so delighted. I mean, does that not melt your heart? Come on. I mean, this doesn't get much better. You can take that feeling, you could condense it and put it in a bottle. You just be mainlining that all day long. So that picture to you is precious, right? It goes right on the refrigerator. And it'll stay there, right, for decades. Until you graduate high school. So The good news is we can identify preciousness. We do have that spontaneous precious feeling because it's our grandchild, you know? And you know, if you took that same drawing, you went to Madison, and you went to an art dealer and said, what did you give me for this? They just laugh at you. So we can learn with a positive state of mind how to transform what we're currently looking at. And there's a few key ways, there's three main ways that we can do this. First and foremost is to identify the positive within the negative, okay? So we all have things that happen in our life that we would rather not have. You know, situations. And within those situations, you probably can look back and think of situations that were quite transformative in your life. Maybe an illness, maybe someone else's illness, maybe you lost a job or a partner. And those are all situations you would never raise your hand for. But within those situations, there may be moments of vulnerability where you connected with somebody else, where something magical almost happened, very positive. And it would have never happened had you not been in that situation. So we can call that a silver lining. So wrapped around some of these not so fun aspects of life are moments of joy. And we can hone ourselves with practice. Although some of those big events, those negative events like major sicknesses and loss, they keep you so raw and vulnerable. It's almost easier in those moments to connect because of your vulnerability. So the idea is you don't want to wait for something horrible to happen to find those moments. Some of these, finding the positives and the negatives, can be as simple as, you know what, I've got to spend some time with that annoying person. Any of you have any of those people in your life? You may live with some of them. Sorry, I do too. So we don't think of that. We often think, oh no, I gotta do that thing that I don't want to go. I gotta go to the dentist. I'm sorry if there's any dentists out there, but I love my dentist. But we go, you know, I have to see that person. I have to spend time with that person. They're going to say that thing that they always say, and they rattle on and blah, blah, blah. We have a whole narrative, right? We can actually use that as a trigger to help us with our gratitude practice. On the surface, we may not be thinking, I'm so grateful to be spending time with this person. But if we think, you know what, this is a unique opportunity to just reflect and say, today I'm going to go on a little treasure hunt. I'm going to go on a treasure hunt. And before I meet with this person, I'm going to set aside all of those known faults and those known annoying things about the behavior, because I've already listed those 100 times in my own mind. I'm going to put those aside. What I am going to do is I'm going to go on a little treasure hunt, and I'm going to identify one thing that's special about this person, one thing that they do that is beneficial to myself or someone else that I can appreciate. And if you take 5 minutes, 10 minutes to conjure it up, but to think, you know what? They really do a good job smiling at everybody they meet. And I bet that makes people stay. And I can really appreciate that. So that's one way that we can kind of look at the positive within the negative. One of the other aspects is to find gratitude in the mundane. Gratitude in the mundane. Because we have much more mundane moments, don't we, than we have spectacular spectacularly good or spectacularly bad moments. So the finding gratitude in the mundane is actually taking these tiny little moments of joy that already exist within our lives, something we delight in, but maybe we take for granted because we do it so often. A classic example is our morning cup of coffee, or tea, or protein shake, whatever it is. I assume it's your morning beverage of choice because you like it, you enjoy it. So how often are we busy, caught up in our day, and we don't think twice about it? We pour the cup of joe, and you go into the car, and you go about your day, you don't think twice about it. Every now and then, take a moment and appreciate something delightful and something you do all the time. Like your morning cup of coffee, feel the warmth in your hand, smell the aroma of the coffee. Allow that first taste to resonate and see how it feels going down. And just sit with that moment of appreciation and joy. And some people, I know a few people that actually use this as their meditative time. They actually spend a little bit more time expanding this particular meditation to connect themselves to all living beings, or at least all the humans that are part of making this cup of coffee appear before them, from the person that planted the tree to the person that picked the coffee bean, on, to the person that at the checkout counter where they bought the coffee, and maybe the person that served them their cup of coffee. Think of all of the living beings that were involved in that, and while they might not have been thinking, this cup of coffee is going to Lowanna. I love Lowanna. They may not know who I am, but they showed up for work, and they're a part of it. And from the aspect of gratitude, it's our choice, and it's our benefit. I'm definitely benefiting from this cup of coffee, and I'm going to choose to take a moment to quietly send them love, send them appreciation. So we can do that. If you can imagine if we did that every time we ate something or drank something, we would become meditative masters within, a few weeks almost. So it is important, if we're trying to cultivate a new practice, to gain familiarity. Why? Because we want effortless joy. Like our kid with the drawing, effortlessly. That's what we want. So another way that we can do this is to make gratitude personal. Make it personal. What that means is, like I was mentioning before, confessing my sins here in front of you all, that in the past my idea of gratitude, and one of the reasons why I kind of poo-pooed the idea of gratitude as being too simple was because it didn't touch my heart. It was intellectual. I could list some things that I knew I should be grateful for, and of course I was, but I didn't allow it to warm my heart and feel authentic. So when we have, platitudes, we can be general about, of course I'm grateful for my community and this and that, and I would say that I'm almost preaching to the choir here, because you must have some level of gratitude, or you probably wouldn't be doing what you do every day. You have so many opportunities to cherish your community, show up in kind ways. And you can be, from what Jamie was saying, what Heather was saying, we're receiving the benefit. When we drive somebody to their doctor's appointment, we have a warm feeling in our heart, don't we? We have a warm feeling. So when we say, you know what, I know I'm going to be picking up Dolores today, and without this ride, it would be very difficult for her to make her way into her doctor's appointments. I'm so grateful that I'm healthy enough to drive. I'm healthy enough to show up for Dolores. And you can think about that before you pick her up. And it really will enhance your experience. So that is a very kind of quick way we can find a way to make it personal. One other thing that we can do is, before we engage in any activity, when we're going to meet somebody, and that can be, a doctor's appointment for ourselves, it could be a family member, it could be maybe a situation you're dealing with that's got some tension involved. If you can take a few moments before you meet with them and just bring them to mind, bring their situation to mind. So instead of saying, I would be grateful for this situation, we think, name them, call them to your mind, visually see them in front of you. Recall anything you might know about them. And even if you know nothing about them, about their personal life, you know that they have struggles just like you have struggles. That we're all, have good days and bad days. We're all in this human body, aging, eventually get sick, and so forth. And everybody has to navigate that. So at a minimum, use this moment to bridge your connection with this person. And just like me, just like I want to be happy, I want to have moments of joy, so do they. Just like I want this interaction to go smoothly, so do they. Even if we think they're always the ones bringing the heat. No one wants to be angry. No one really wants to be tight. But you know what? If they're having struggles, if they're communicating poorly and speaking not so nicely, there's a part of us that knows, if we've ever been in that situation ourselves, we know it does not feel good. And so we can kind of level up our gratitude practice a little bit in those situations and think, you know what? I'm just going to send a wish, a kind wish. May their mind be calm. May things go well today. And may I show up in my best humanity suit today. Superhuman. So when we're making it personal, at the center, we always talk about this. We need to start at home. Start at home. Because guess who we take for granted the most? The ones we live with. We love them, but it's very easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, mundane, and we maybe forget about who's living with us. We may remember the person who's living with us, their list of faults and their annoyances, because that's what we notice. But if they're living with us, there's probably at least one thing that they do that's beneficial to you. Even if they're not trying to be beneficial, it in some way helps you, whatever it is. So it is helpful to identify those things. And I had a teacher once tell me when I was having a difficulty with a close family member. She said, after I had spent 10 minutes listing all of their faults, she kindly looked at me and smiled and said, yeah, but forget all that. Tell me a time when they were kind. Tell me a time where they were of benefit. Tell me a time where they helped you, even if it was a long time ago. And just meditate on that. And at a minimum, it will soften your heart when you see them. Your patience, your understanding will be right there, right there. You won't have to look very far for it because it's so easy to find. So anyway, this is what we want to do. This is our opportunity if we want to improve the moments of happiness we have. And you guys are in such amazing opportunities day to day because you are connecting with the community. Do we have 5 minutes? 5 minutes. I thought what would be nice to do is just wrap it up in a mindfulness practice, very brief. So if it's okay with you, you can get into a comfortable seat and close your eyes. This is one of the gratitude practices that was encouraged to do before you get out of bed. It was encouraged to do it with 5 people. We're going to do it with 1 person, just out of an easy way to do this. So in your mind, bring to mind someone who has benefited you in some way. It could be somebody you already have warm, affectionate feelings for, or somebody new in your life. They did something to you that was kind, and you received benefit. Bring them to mind. Take a moment to remember what they did and how you felt when they gave you this gift. How you recognized the kindness in them, how it warmed your heart. When you're at home and you do this before you get out of bed, you can take a few moments here and just think about a memory you have with them that was meaningful. Maybe the color of their eyes, maybe where you first met them. So you can really have a visit, a mental visit with them. And this can be somebody who's alive or passed on. Now imagine just at your heart center having an authentic feeling of gratitude and compassion for them. And imagine you thank them. Maybe you never actually got to say the words, "I'm grateful for you." Maybe you never got to communicate the way you wanted to communicate your deep love and appreciation for them, that they matter. So mentally do that now. And now know that you've sent them love and appreciation for all that they are. And you do in some way. I'll be here, at the end of the talk, and if you have any comments, I'd love to meet you. We also have a few giveaway free stuff from the center. We have a free guest pass if you want to come by the center, and you can take one for a friend or family member as well. And we also have a couple of free ebooks if you're interested. So that being said, thank you so much for all you do. You've made this day meaningful to me. Thank you very much.
Test. Thank you. There. We are back. I appreciate your talk, your comments, and thank you all for taking the time today to slow down and really hear Lowanna's remarks today. So I appreciate that. We have 2 more things. How are we doing? Good? You're looking good. Okay. So, as I move on to our next part of the program, we have a brief slideshow we would like to share. As you are kind of chatting, socializing with your table, maybe share 1 or 2 things that you are grateful for or you have gratitude for amongst yourself. We'll get the slideshow up, and then we'll bring the closing for today. So. Fun. I love all those pictures, and I know many of you are kind of hiding when we want to take your picture, and we have to seek you out, but we'll forgive you. Again, I truly want to thank all of you for coming today, and thank you for your dedication to the Verona Senior Center. Like I mentioned before, we could not fulfill our mission in this community without every single one of you in this room, and those who weren't able to be here today. You are truly our ambassadors to the Verona Senior Center, and we appreciate you. We want to say that we totally appreciate you. Absolutely and totally. So before you leave today, we would like you to grab a special gift in the back table. We have these Verona totes. So please welcome to grab your gift in the back. And there are some Verona Senior Center pens back there too. They're really nice pens. But it really is fun to see everyone here. It's really a testament to, as you can see in the slideshow, the fun that we have here. Hopefully you have fun when you come here, because we certainly do. And just much appreciation to all of you in this room and to those who are not able to make it. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to seeing you at your next shift. Or at the next program or activity. So thank you again for being here. Appreciate you. Feel free to stop and chat with Lowanna and the RSVP team beside, and also just have a great, wonderful day. Enjoy the weather.